Yeah, what a fantastic lacrosse game, and I hope I'm not coming across as a gloating head coach of the winning team. You know, Joe Bresci's team never gave up, and the way they rode us in the fourth quarter was so impressive. Alex rode, and our defense was making stops, but we just couldn't get the ball to our offense and take some time off the clock. Carolina just kept giving them their more chances, and it's a credit to what this game of lacrosse is all about. The game of lacrosse is a preparation for life. We learned that from the Native Americans. The Native Americans gave us this game, and the game for them is preparing their young men and now women for life. Historically, preparing men, boys, to become better hunters, to become better warriors, to be brave. And how symbolic it is with this being Memorial Day weekend, where we get to honor those Americans, those men and women who've served, who've done everything they could and given their lives for us. And so I see that connection, those parallels, and you see that in this game today. You know, nothing was taken for granted. Two teams going toe to toe, so much offensive firepower out there, and then us building the lead, and Carolina not giving up and not quitting. And so lessons for life, certainly for them, and they should hold their heads really high. And we're the fortunate ones to come out ahead. The interesting about the face-offs, how Tucci gets us early, and then Petey got on a roll there in the second quarter, and got us the ball, and we just kept getting those goals and got 7 goals in that second quarter. And then Tucci got on a roll late in the game. But Petey's help from Grayson Saladay, amazing the number of tough ground balls Grayson picked up for us today. And I was so impressed with him. And then, you know, it was this game of the face-off X, how it can swing so quickly when you get on a roll like that. And we got on a roll, and then Carolina and Tucci got on their roll. But fortunately, Alex Rode and our team defense, and especially our man down, stepped up to ensure that Carolina didn't get goals in bunches like we got the goals in bunches in that second quarter. I'll stop there.
Okay, we'll take questions from the media. We'll start with Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch.
Congratulations, Lars. You just mentioned Alex, 15 saves today, including some really, I thought, challenging ones. How big was he, and what is it about this tournament that seems to bring out the best in his game?
Yeah, well, I see Alex every day, and we think he's a fantastic goalie all the time. But you're right. When everyone's watching, he steps up even bigger, doesn't he? And when on the biggest stage, this is Alex Rode's platform. And yeah, we saw a highly powered offense that has really 12 different options. Preparing for North Carolina is very difficult because of all the weapons. And with Dave Metzbauer, a fantastic offensive coordinator, you know, he's got so many different things he can do to you. And so our defense held as much as they could. And then Alex bailed us out time and time again. And especially with our man down, some huge saves there. And so, yeah, this is Alex Rode. That's who he is. And I'm very grateful. He's plays for Virginia.
Patrick Stevens, Lacrosse Magazine.
I did want to ask a little bit about the man down as well as the last sequence. You know, how significant was that man down play overall? I'm sure if somebody had told you 0 for 5 for Carolina, you'd have been thrilled with that. And then the finishing sequence, was it basically making sure that they had somebody in their face, somebody in their hands pretty much for any sort of shot that they were going to get?
Sure. If you had told me that we were going to be man down 5 times, I would have gulped. You know, there's a hope that when you get this late in the season, there tends to be fewer fouls. But unfortunately, the referees got it right. We slashed some people late in that game that had to be called, and they were obvious fouls. Charlie slashed somebody right in the back, for example, and we were just giving up. You know, we made it easy on the referees with some of those slashes. And but boy, our man down stepped up, and we put in different men for that. You know, Scott Bauer, Jake Giulieri, John Fox guides us there. And I was nervous coming into the game because of the conditions with somebody who's been standing on the sidelines for 20, 25 minutes, having not played. How will they be, especially against a high powered man up offense like North Carolina? Alex Rode bailed us out on our second man down, where we left somebody wide open, but Chris Gray took a shot and Alex Rode made a huge save. From there, we got really better with our rotations and we didn't give up any open looks. And we got fortunate. They threw the ball away on the very last one. But of course, we didn't clear the ball, did we? So, and then with a timeout with 20 seconds left, there'd been a play beforehand where I could have called timeout. I didn't. And Carolina took advantage of a sort of a 4v4, 5v4. And Will Perry scored another goal against us. Boy, he's had some field days against us. And his shot is different. It's just that much faster and no, it's really tough. Alex Rode could see a lot of shots, but he just couldn't see that one. And so when I called timeout with 20 seconds left, it was to say, all right, fellas, let's press out on their short sticks. Let's make it difficult for them to try to run by our short sticks. And when we saw that they gave Zero the ball, we said, hey, Cole Kastner, here we go, and let you, defend this 1v1. Eventually the ball got to Chris Gray. And I thought our short stick teammate, Chris Merle, made a huge play. What a big time play Chris Merle made there. Because typically with a pick, with Chris Gray involved, you want to keep Cade Soustad, one of the best defensemen in the country, on the ball. But Chris Merle recognized that this was an opportunity to surprise Gray, jam him, and it stymied the rest of their offensive flow the last 10 seconds of the game. So huge jump switch by Chris Merle.
Danielle Stein.
Lars, when you guys go into half with a pretty good lead off of that run you guys were going on, how does just knowing North Carolina so well kind of help you stay grounded as you guys move into the second half?
It's true. We knew them well. We said, hey, we know we're going to get their full pressure ride now. And we dealt with it well in the third quarter, but obviously, as you saw, we didn't deal with it in the fourth quarter well at all. But we knew they would bring that type of intensity. You're right. Having played them twice, it takes away some of the question marks of the schemes, and it allowed us to be better prepared, saying, okay, I think they're going to try to set more picks for Chris Gray and get him loose and get him going because he's such an incredible lacrosse player. And, and then defensively trying to figure out what they're doing. But, they threw some things that were a little different, but not too different. What I really look at is Sean Kerwin calls a masterful game. We just didn't get Sean the ball enough. We only got 3 goals in the second half because, again, that possession, when you're losing faceoffs and failing clears, that's a lot of extra possessions for the opponent. And that's why North Carolina was able to get 7 goals in that second half. We're probably fortunate they only got 7, and that was because of some good defense, very good man down play, and again, Alex Rode. But yeah, knowing them, there wasn't going to be too big of a question marks coming out of half. We just said, fellas, there's a surge coming, there's a storm coming, and they're going to get a couple goals. Focus on the next one. Don't get involved with the ups and downs, the emotions, and just steady and make the next play.
Mike Mavrodakis from the Hartford Current here in Connecticut.
Hi, Lars. What was it like for you to see the fan turnout, the atmosphere today? It was pretty energetic in here.
Yeah, it was loud, and this is what lacrosse fans are, very passionate people, aren't they? Forget that this is probably the coldest day on record for Memorial Day weekend, but they came out and it got loud. It's a great venue. It's a great small venue for our championships. And, but I will admit, most of that, as they got the loudest, was at the end of the game when Carolina was making some big time plays and getting the ball back in the ride. But we come in a huddle as a defense, and we talk about this all the time. We live for this. We love this. Up a goal, coming out of a timeout, the fans yelling. This is what we live for. This is what we crave these moments. And so we try to embrace that. Again, pressure is a gift. You want to thrive under pressure. You commit to coming to University of Virginia because you want to play in big time moments like this. You want that pressure. You want that crowd. And thanks to our lacrosse fans and Hartford for creating that energy despite the conditions.
Okay, we'll take 2 more questions. Christopher Heidel, Herb FM.
Hey, Coach. Just talk about playing tomorrow. Or Monday, you might play Duke or Maryland. I know you didn't play Maryland this year because of COVID, but you played them over the years. What do they look similar getting ready for on Monday?
Yeah, big, strong, and athletic, both teams. Elite attackmen. Probably our Heisman Trophy, the Tewaaraton Award. You're probably looking at the top 2 guys there between Jared Bernhardt and Michael Sowers, surrounded by a ton of talent. One team's undefeated. So I'm happy that we get to sit way up high in the top tier for the next 2 hours and watch this game, because that means we won. But I know I'm going to be watching and scratching my head on how to defend these guys. And yeah, so two very well coached, talented teams, and so I'll enjoy it for a little while, but not too long.
Congratulations, and moving on Monday.
Thank you.
Okay, last question for Coach Tiffany will be from Kyle Devitt, New England Lacrosse Journal.
Coach, you briefly talked about John Fox helping you out in your man down, and he also was kind of deployed a little bit in the middle as a bit of a backer slider, and he had a huge clear with about 2 minutes left. What has he meant to your team as like the glue guy so far for the Cavs?
Oh yeah, I mean, John Fox, what he does on the field is impressive. What he does off the field is even better. People don't witness. I don't know if I've had as good a leader as him, and I've had some great ones. Alex Buckley at Brown University, Dave Smith here at University of Virginia. John Fox is in the same breath. He stepped on campus 4 years ago here in Charlottesville, Virginia, as a leader. He made comments as a first year at Charlottesville. I was shocked that you would expect a fourth or fifth year to say. He understands what it means to commit to a team. He takes responsibility for so many of our men. He takes responsibility for our decision-making off the field. It's uncanny what he's done for us, what he has meant for us as a captain. I mean, he's essentially a three-time captain. He could have been a four-time if we allowed first years to do that, but for the 2019, he wasn't technically a captain, but he was a leader. 2020, he was a captain. 21, he's a captain. If he wanted to come back next year, he would certainly be a captain. So he could be a three-time captain. I feel like I have another coach off the field, guiding our young men, making good decisions and leading this program in everything we do because of John Fox.